together. I would like you to give a round of applause to Aline because it's his birthday and he needs energy. Thank you. Drew Schenkman, in his speech, mentioned that the history is written by the victors. And unless we want that the history will be a makeup tutorial or a gaming reportage, I think we all need to step up and learn from the influencers that are taking space right now. And first of all, as lunch was a bit time ago, I wanted to ask, do you know anyone, besides the people who are here from Estonia, any personalities you know from Estonia? Just shout out the name, the first one.
Savisaar.
Savisaar. Okay, you get a chocolate from Tartu. So to keep you alert, he will give you some chocolate. Yes, that's a good answer. He's not so public anymore, but he's someone to learn from when it comes to influence. Why I'm here? I have worked with personal branding for 10 years, trying to get my vision and my message across to help people, entrepreneurs, CEOs, governmental people, entrepreneurs. It doesn't really matter who you are, but if you have a message, you need to find a way to get it out there, or if you have the skill to spread the message, as many influencers do today, you need the message to focus on. So this is what I do on a daily basis. I used to be corporate communication manager in the Estonian National Museum and in IT startup that was a startup back in 2012. And now I study psychology because everything we do to get our message across comes from psychology. And I'm also kayaking, which has taught me a lot about sticking to itness, being a performer, which means that, you know, sports people, they are high performance, and they are always in, they never know if they're going to win or not. And the same thing goes with influencing your crowds. You just have to be there and stick to it. Any kayakers here? Anyone? No? Chocolate steak. You are. Okay, yeah, chocolate there. So if you have any questions, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, because I'm leaving tomorrow, so please send me a message as well. Back in '97, Tom Peters said that we live in an age when everybody's a CEO of his life, so coining the term personal branding. Most of the last years we've been talking about information age, and what we do is we give out a lot of information that comes with the possibilities of technology. But just recent days, there was another article in Fast Company saying that we're actually living in a reputation age. Because what is information without us or the people who are reading it trusting that information? And what's more important, acting upon the information they get. And that's what we really want. We just don't want them to read or be able to access information. We actually want them to do something. And that's what influencers are really good at. Another side from digital influencers is the digital. And I really like what Ogilvy agency, which starts from the father of advertisement, is saying that there's no such thing as digital marketing. Or it can be there's no such thing as a digital influencer. There's just influence. Digital provides us the tools. Influence equals trust plus reach. So what is trust? Trust alone can mean that you ask your friend about advice, where to go to a cafe or what to study because you value their opinion. Influence alone is pure advertisement. When you put these two together, you get influence. So digital influencer can be someone whose knowledge and expertise has nurtured and built up a following. Now, who is the most famous YouTuber you know? PewDiePie, I heard that because I was looking for it. Chocolate there. And that's my first guy here. He's also someone who earned the most money via being a YouTuber, but also because he was so influential, and he posted around 2017, last year, some videos or clips that had a connotation with I can't say now, Jewish imagery, Holocaust imagery, and he was really taken down for it, and his sales got down a bit because of that, but he still earns the most money in YouTube. This girl is an Estonian YouTuber who influences my niece's life. My niece is 10 years old girl, and when I asked who she wants to be, she said she wants to be famous. And this is Maria Ranaveni, whose fault that is. So our youngsters, the new generation, listens to these girls and boys who do gaming or makeups. So we need to really look what they do well in their messaging, but also be aware that these messages don't get so wide that they change the life of the next generation. A good example, anyone who was on another DCN event knows this guy, Yusuf Amar. If you put hashtag our stories, I really recommend looking him up, because he made me realize how you can actually use whether it's Snapchat or any other digital tool that I thought was only for these makeup tutorials and no message platforms. He helps people who have no voice from rural areas with real problems to use these tools via mobile journalism. And he's an influencer that I consider a good influencer, using his skills to help other people who have messages get the skills you need to become a digital influencer. So the truth really is message versus or skills in digital. So there's two sides. There's message and there's the skills. To bring some information about Estonia, what I've been working with as well is there's a program that helps teachers become the spokespersons of education. And it's approximately 6-month-long program, and there have been 3 groups already. And they teach teachers to use the digital tools to get publicity. And one of the trainings is a 2-day training course on personal branding that I've been helping to do. And this has actually a really good effect on making the teaching as a work that a youngster can choose to become more public, to become with the good notions that the younger generation would like to join and think about. So this is one of the programs that uses the reputation management, uses the skill learning to get public positions more attractive, let's put it this way. The second one is a sports directed program, which is also started by private people, private companies, and they give out scholarships to young sportsmen who are talented and could be the next Estonian Olympic winners. But there's a catch, because there's of course the board for Olympic sports in Estonia as well. But they have done it so that there's 3 different parts of the scholarship. Of course, you get the money, and you can use the money for a 4-year period to prepare, but you can use it both for the physical training that sportsmen need, and the mental training that sportsmen really need, but is always left behind because nobody has the money to, go to the psychologist, even though you need it. And the third part, what they do, is also branding, because we like sports because it's so captivating. It brings us on, and sportsmen have an influence over a wide audience. So it's important to see what they are actually talking about, that they would send messages that would help the next generation as well. Third one, which I'm not part of, is a program that's been from, I think, 2014. And it's to find and attract and teach youngsters, young talented leaders to become more active and to become the next leaders in governmental institutions, so civil servants. Now, these people, the three ones up there, they usually have a strong message that they already know, that they're already giving out on a daily basis. But usually they lack the tools of marketing, branding, knowing how to use the digital tools. And they don't really think that it's sometimes valuable because, come on, I'm competent, I know what I'm saying, so I shouldn't have to do that, I shouldn't have to sell that. But it doesn't work like that anymore because we have information and we can, as an audience, can choose which information we trust and follow. Now, on the other side, we have the YouTubers, for example, or the digital influencers, the youngsters that have a high following. The below one are the top influencers or YouTubers in Estonia. And I was in a board to choose the best content creators in Estonia this year. And it was horrible, to be honest. They didn't have a good message. Even the quality wasn't that good. But at the same time, they have influence. They have so many followers. And I talked to the organizers, and they confessed that they have a problem, that the YouTubers don't really know why they're doing it. They have a platform, they have followers, and they don't know what they're doing or what they're going to do with their lives. Now, there are a lot of professional content creators today, and if I look at some of the great YouTubers in Estonia as well, you can see how they've developed throughout the years. And the more they develop, the more they have to say. Actually, the less they are saying or just spitting out information. They start really taking care of what they say. And that's actually really good. And I think that's something we need to exchange. To learn from the YouTubers, the influencers, who might not have a clear message as what we value to be something that helps the society to go on. And to take people who have a good message to both share the skills and the values. So something that's not my own creation, but I found really interesting, I will leave it on the slides, I guess the slides will be sent out, was the foundation of influence. You have to consider that first you have to have the message. I'm not taking, this is out of this picture right now, but if you have something to say, how to gain the influence through digital media, you need to have reach, resonance, and relevance. And YouTubers are really good at it. That they really can make you feel connected, or the type of generation or type of crowd they're directing. So this is something we need to learn as well, to understand the audience. Some things we can learn from digital influencers of today. No BS. They're usually really open and saying what they want, even in their sales pitches. Focus, they have their own topics that they like to talk about. Identity, you are a person and we're all people and we want to be treated as one, not being sold things, etc. But the most important is to offer something actionable, something the audience you want to make a change, to decide on something that is so easy to do that they will choose it. Like in Estonia, the ID card is so easy because it has been made so easy for us to use. So your opinion matters. Just the one recent LinkedIn update from founder, CEO in startup world in Estonia. He says that Swedbank, which is one of the largest banks in Estonia, hates startups, and startup is a big thing in Estonia. Went to the news. It's really easy to gain traction if you are an influencer in a field and if the topic is important. So it's all up to you. What's your message? To think about that and to find the right tools to convey that to your audiences. And that's it for me. There's some left chocolate. It's Estonia celebrates 100 years of freedom. So if anybody wants more chocolates, come and join me and ask me. I'll make
I had an idea. When you were presenting, I saw a selfie, and I was thinking of doing a selfie with you guys regarding branding and association. You guys have to go for a selfie? Yeah?
But you have to ask permission these days.
Yeah, definitely. GDPR. But first, I want to ask you guys to stand up.
So we're just...
And selfie.
You know you have to do this.
With the filter. What? If I lose one? Yeah.
Shoot.
Ah, perfect.
And another tip, you know, starting to be a content creator, you have to use a lot of time, so it's not an easy job.
But at least it's going to look professional. It's going to be professional.
Yeah. But we just did it randomly, of course.
Huh? Yeah. Cool. No, dude, it's a photo. Okay. Thank you.
Any questions? I don't know if I have time.
Yeah. So, questions regarding digital influencers. I've been dying to do this. Wait
for it.
Okay, thank you very much for the talk. So you touched upon reputation shortly.
Yeah.
And you put it in the context of information. As we saw, the abundance of information that the internet gave us had two outcomes. It democratized information, so everyone started producing information. This led to fake news. And it also gave the possibility for the centralization of information to some very powerful institutions, which also have an agenda. The question is, with reputation, what would be a good way to gatekeep the reputation? Would it be a crowd-based reputation system, which, as you said, will lead to some influencers that don't have a very consistent message? Or would it be an institutional reputation system for this? Or
So if I got it right, you're asking about a corporate or organizational reputation, how to get that, or?
What would be a good way to gatekeep that reputation?
So you have a good reputation?
No.
Gatekeep, I'm not sure I understand the question.
I'm sorry, I didn't phrase it correctly. So the question is, what would be a good method to gatekeep that reputation? Would it be good to outsource that to the crowds? Or would it be best?
Do you want to leave your reputation to the crowd?
No, but I wouldn't want
There's your answer.
But I wouldn't want to leave it to an institution either. So what would be the middle ground?
Well, I'm not sure if I understand your question right, but I'll try to answer anyway. So an organization, an institution consists of people. I'm mostly dealing with personal brands, and what is the trend now is to develop each of these spokespeople that are in the institution, first and foremost, because they are the ones, the brand ambassadors, to give out what's the vision, what's the goals. If they don't know what they're saying, then you're a bit not in a good position in the first place. If that's settled, then you can attach other influencers, if that's the case and if that's something you can use, but you always have to see that the values are the same. Of course, you can have quick advertising or quick, it's easy to create stardom, but it's not a good, easy to create or keep reputation. So you cannot do it like overnight. And it starts with the people from the institution anyway. So no matter what you do, you have to first understand that each and every person in the organization covers these values and visions that you want to do, kind of give out, and that forms the reputation over time. And then you can spread it out to spokespersons, to influencers, be it YouTubers or content creators, whoever, but you have to stick to the values first and choose by that. And if you choose by that, then it should be easy, but time-consuming still. So I'm not sure if it answered your question. Do we have another?
Yeah.
Me?
Oh, there's one here as well. Yeah.
I have a quote. As a personal branding specialist, I wanted to ask you the question. In Ukraine, politicians became so much digital, and even the official statements they make in Facebook, Twitter, etc. So younger audience, make their opinion about politicians from social media, and elder generation makes opinions from TV. And there is a gap, and it's very difficult to communicate to elder people, or, for example, to elder people it's difficult to communicate to younger people. And what do you think? Is it like how to make this solid self-brand for politicians using like both big media and small social media?
Well, the gap can only be in the sense that there's different audience and there's different tools you use to get to that audience. The values of what the politician says should be quite similar in a good world, in a nice world, right? Are the messages different, or?
The messages are different too. Because in social media, they very often they are very emotional, and
That's how you use social media. You have to be a bit more emotional than in the news, from the regional, newslands.
Do you think it's okay?
I always go down to the message, because you have to use a different tone in social media than you do in public, state-owned TV channel. You have to do it. As long as the key message and key tone is the same, you can try to completely stay on your... First of all, I don't deal with politicians for a certain reason. For me, it's very important for each person who brands and actively does that, brands himself, to really understand their own style and to apply it to different channels and just use the channel criteria to mold that. But the message is always the same, so for me, it's never a question about the message. These have to be the fixed points.
I think this discussion deserves a little bit more space and time. I think I would strongly suggest, I would strongly suggest to have this discussion extended in the break.